time, so they're going to switch, and it will be Nora-Rengo on the bans first.
Okay, so here we go. Typical Nora-Rengo style, they will be taking their time with their bans, really calculating this decision and possibly just trying to psych out their opponent. You know, they do this consistently, and I don't know of any teams that go into a ban phase not knowing what they want to ban. So I'm pretty sure this is just done to keep their opponent on their toes. Glazman, yet again, this is the second time banning Glaz. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, people would point a finger at Ying and go, oh, why not ban Ying? Vitality is one of the few teams that still really, you know, hammers her out. You know, she's still a very powerful operator, don't get me wrong, but Vitality likes Ying a lot. They also like Glaz. Yeah,
Glaz is more influential for their kind of pushes where they would use the Ying as more of an aggressive, yeah, let's get in the site, whereas Glaz is more of the smoke the doorway, and then Glaz is like that Overwatch protector where it just shuts down anybody who wants to try and retake the bomb site, may it be even a smoke, just trying to throw a smoke grenade, he can shut him down as well, while simply you have players there who just plant at the doorway, so it's certainly one of the better bans, but Hibana and Echo, so both of the Japanese operators are going to be banned, so the Japanese team cannot play the Japanese operators.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just because they're very powerful operators, to be honest, though. I mean, Hibana as a hard destructor on Clubhouse, not being there means that the basement site is going to be incredibly strong. And, well, I mean, all of the sites are really going to be incredibly strong. You think about it, your three standard bomb sites on this map are going to be basement, master, and cache. Master is basically just cache extended. Cache is something you need a thermite for in the first place. And then the basement has so many drop downs. So thermite going to be picked every single round, obviously. And it's going to be a really big match with the hard destruction. Watching thermite is going to be something that yeah, pay attention to thermite. That's all I'm saying. Whether or not he gets his objective is going to really, I think, dictate the outcome of each of these attack rounds.
And the fact that Hibana got banned out, that really then did more or less force Nora-Rengo to ban out the Mira, because Hibana's one of the biggest counters to a Mira, so whenever you see, hold on a minute, they are 100% going to go for these Mira strategies because they don't have to worry about Hibana that we can't play. So let's just ban out the Mira as well so none of us can play it. So Hibana and Mira are, you know, kind of polar opposites where Hibana is the biggest counter to the Mira window. So then getting rid of that just forces Nora-Rengo to then change up their ban. So they probably have had to change that, I would say, because they did let it through in Coastline. So that tells us, yeah, they're happy enough with playing Mira as well. So really interesting picks. I would probably say one of the most diverse lineup that we've had in quite some time as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for Nora-Rengo at this stage because they don't have to worry about them Mira windows.
Yeah, absolutely. Vitality, on the other hand, on attack, have brought a Montaigne, which is, you know, usually I'd say if you're going to bring a Montaigne, it's to attack cache. But you can use a Montaigne pretty well on the basement as well. Also, it's impossible for Vitality to tell what site they're going to be attacking, so having a diverse lineup is important. Okay, so they could attack from either Dirt Tunnel, they could attack from the blue. You know, Monty has a lot of potential applications on this side. You know, as the spectator is trying to highlight, you can come just from those the storage room through the blue hallway, or you can come through this Dirt Tunnel. Now, the problem with Dirt Tunnel is that you have to commit a thermite charge to it. Since you only can open up two things, if you open up the Dirt Tunnel, it also means that you are only going to get one drop down aside from that tunnel. So you have to choose, basically, and that's not a great choice to make. You want to be able to get two drops if possible. So we'll see what Vitality choose to go for. Ultimately, it comes down to their strategy. You could see their first priority is clearing out the roamers, which is a hard thing to do. After the last Clubhouse update, it used to be you could not roam while defending Clubhouse basement. Like, it's just impossible. The attackers would drone you out, they would pinch you, and it would always work against you. But now, with all these extra rooms added, all this extra cover added, there's so many more things for the attackers to drone, it's a possibility. However, Nora-Rengo seems to have forgone that possibility.
It's certainly seeming like a very much pre-Hibana kind of setup that Vitality are going for. It's almost reminiscent of the year one's season 1, 2, and 3.
If they open up Church Wall,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Especially because Vitality back in DreamHack Valencia, they played Ints on this map, And they spanned out the glass, really brought the Montagna, and this is a push that they went for, was the church wall push, which is it's a very, very old, very...
it's the original basement attack.
This is what Clubhouse used to be before the new one, but it still works. It still has them free walls intact. It never really got affected by the changes that happened, but certainly, this is a push that Vitality are proficient at, as Spark already starts things off, gets the kill onto Waka. So a 5 versus 4 gets rid of the Jaeger, who probably non-detrimental, but like you were talking about, the very, very old strategy of the old church wall. Is this bringing back memories, would you say?
It truly is. Yeah, you do have an Ella playing in the black box corner, which is a very powerful position to have. The gas canisters will stall this out a lot as well. So the Montaigne is going to have trouble making this push happen, but he's got all the tools he needs. He spots out the Ella and forces her back to Wine Cooler, which is still a very powerful position, but the defenders are starting to stack up, and Rafael is going to be able to get Mariu as a result. Smoke playing behind the A-bomb and being called out by Zephyr, and this could be a potentially easy kill for the attackers. Oh no!
Zephyr.
A huge misplay for the Montaigne, ADSing, and Papillon's going to go ahead and say, no, you cannot do that. Bibu gets Shin, crazy, refrag immediately onto Rafael. Spark back and forth here, gets Papillon, and that's church control, leaving JJ the final defender, but only 2 seconds. If he can stop the defuse plant, he can win the round. He's going to have to get past Bibu, though, playing the hard angle, 90 degrees there, just around the corner. Cannot win the initial fight on the black box, and as he comes around, Spark will be the one to get the final kill. JJ goes down, Vitality win round number 1.
So this first round already makes me feel very worrisome for Nora-Rengo, because what Vitality just did is exactly what that is Vitality in their element. That is their prime kind of push, where everything goes well, they take what they want, and then they just do what Vitality does best.
And this is, you know what's funny? So that strategy we just witnessed, it was the original attack strategy onto the basement. That was pretty much, at least in North America, that was pretty much the first thing that people went to, is like, hey, we can open up this church wall and then we can see everything in the site. Let's do that. And, you know, it's odd to see it again, but it didn't fall out of style because it stopped working necessarily. It fell out of style because people developed more intricate strategies. But sometimes intricacy isn't necessarily something you want to lean on in Siege. And more importantly, Nora-Rengo might not even know about that strategy because of how old it is. I mean, they weren't necessarily. I don't believe they were playing in the exposed to the North American or European meta in the very first couple seasons. You know, as players individually, they might have been playing then, but as a team, they probably weren't exposed to that meta. So it might be a little bit of an odd strategy for Nora to be dealing with, and it's forgivable that they lost that round on the defensive basement. Still, yeah, bringing back memories.
Yeah, and you were just touching upon where it was the only push you go for, and you talked about where new strategies were developed. That's because of the introduction to Habana, where you can open up all the hatches, and then also because Mira was so predominant on them walls. I always remember Evil Geniuses, they would just use both of the Mira windows and basically make a big smiley face right in that triple wall. So certainly the old format, the old play style of the pre-Habana certainly did work, and because Mira's not there, and also because Habana's not there, that's what you kind of have to do, is play around as if it is back to year one.
Yeah. Well, it certainly worked out for Vitality. Now, Nora is aware of this. You can tell they are expecting the same strategy to come out, especially with that camera placement. It's pretty obvious. But Vitality have their options still. They could go for a blue push. You know, they could go for a dirt tunnel push, collapse onto the kitchen. They don't have to commit themselves fully to attacking the church wall, but their main priority is yet again going to be clearing out the roamers. You can see Rafael will be droning for Zephyr into this top floor, and Mariu is the one to try and catch this Montaigne off guard. However, he will be unsuccessful in that endeavor. At least the Gersmont will detonate and force the unshield, and a little bit of damage comes out. But this is possibly one of the worst guns to be shooting at a Montaigne. You know, you want a Jaeger's carbine. 416 is great for shooting at the legs or hands of a shield, but Scorpion's not doing a whole lot of damage to those extremities, and because of that, it's going to be a bit of an odd engagement. Ooh, bad timing there for Spark, and Waka gets a free kill. Great positioning on just the strip hallway. And Nora put themselves up 1 kill. Those roamers really coming into play.
That is probably the riskiest place you can play on Clubhouse, because once you get found out, you're cut off. You cannot escape from that strip club anymore. And it did work for him. Spark sloppy droning. We talked about this with Nora-Rengo, where they just didn't drone out. It got Spark free kills, and this time it's going to be the other way around. But certainly I can see Zephyr starting to push in towards that strip club, just gains the intel, tries to find out exactly where Waka is. But this is Waka he's gone up against as well, so that's going to be very strong, and he's wasting so much time. That guy is going to be... What is this rotation? Look at this. That was the sledge hole that Spark actually made as well. That worked so well for Waka. Probably the best rotation I think I've ever seen used in Clubhouse. That was extremely well played, as the fear is going to come in like this human drone. But Waka has done his job. Look how much time he's wasted. He even gets it down as well before Zephyr finishing him off. JJ got a kill onto Bibu as well, down in towards that bomb site as well, and the time is just ticking down. They haven't even managed to get the thermite, and there's another roamer in the form of Shin using them blue stairs as another rotation option. Rafael knows he's there, flashbang goes out, and is going to be the runaway from the Valkyrie. What a roam game from Nora-Rengo. They have just wasted all of the time that Vitality had. We're seeing Zephyr just ADS down the corridor, smoke canisters go out, Bread pushes in, and that will be the round for Nora-Rengo. The best round that Nora-Rengo needed was just shown.
That was a perfectly played basement defense from Nora. And the big thing there is they understand Vitality and how Vitality plays. Usually, the French are able to get themselves into the site even in the dying seconds of the round. And you saw there, they were very close to getting that defuse plant down. They were very close to stopping the timer. But it just did not happen. And it's all thanks to a deep roam from Waka inside of Strip Club. It just, like you said, the big thing there is usually that is some sort of thing that gets you killed. It gets you cut off, and you just don't help your team at all. But because of some lazy droning from Vitality, they could not get that kill, and Spark was felled early.
Yeah, certainly Vitality, that is what they don't want to face, is a very heavy roam game, especially with late rotations. For example, we've talked about how both these teams don't cover their flanks all too well. So having then the Valkyrie rotate as well was a big play in my eyes, using that adaptability to know, yeah, if they're fighting Waka over in Strip, that means they're not going to be worrying about the blue stair, so let me rotate up and try and get a pick for myself or just waste even more time. That's exactly what happened, but Nora-Rengo is going to have to go up in towards the cache, which I would say Vitality excel in, is pushing this particular bomb site with the cache, because it is so simple with the Montana. This is a push that they've gone for against Instant DreamHack Valencia, where they just used the Montana to walk up the garage onto the catwalk, and really the only thing that matchup Vitality and Ints was why Vitality just didn't landslide that, was because you had players on Ints like Gumphy who played it extremely well as a Jaeger on the catwalk, so possibly we could see Papillon play exactly the same way with a very, very aggressive Jaeger with all his ADS was ready to stop flashbangs or smokes or anything that may come out as well.
Yeah, well, the strategy is almost undoubtedly going to be, as you said, the Montaigne going in through garage. And then Spark will be grenading the Bandit of Mariu, who's going to be trying to deny the server wall from being thermited open. And that's going to be the two big mechanics in all likelihood. That's usually what we see happen on this defense. There's also a Thatcher, so maybe no nades needed. Depends on how active Mariu is on the server wall. But you want to get that server wall open so you can establish crossfire onto the defenders and isolate the B bomb site. Of course, Nora is conscious of this, and they will be positioning themselves accordingly.
So Vitality, they're going to take their time. They're going to figure out, yeah, what is the setup that Nora-Rengo is going to have. And for the most part, it's going to be a 5-man anchor on the bomb site's only real player. Whoa, that was...
No, this setup right now, they have the Thatcher perfectly timed. They're going to get rid of the ADS.
That's going to be pretty good, this.
And they've got the nade primed to throw in and to deny the Bandit tricking. This is perfect timing if they land it, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Mariu tries to trick the wrong wall, and Rafael manages to get it open.
Yeah, this is where whenever you don't have whenever you don't have the ADSs, whenever the Thatcher gets rid of, it's a very easy nade. As Papayan, who we were talking about, can he play very well inside of that catwalk? He does that as he does take out the Thermite, but loses a lot of health. Zephyr and Montagna on that low health, he's going to get killed by one Goo-mine unless he does get reset, which is viably possible. I've seen Vitality reset at 1 minute, so that could be a thing. But look where Shin is playing aggressive as a smoke. This is something that we always worry about, seeing these aggressive smokes in these positions where they can lose the gunfights. But Vitality, they've slowed down a lot more. They have taken this time to go for the reset. This is no surprise for Vitality. All they need is about 15 seconds to go for their final push and get the plant down. If Vitality can get the plant down at 1 second, they're happy with what they're doing. So certainly Vitality, they're going to have to start moving here. 30 seconds. Bread is going to be rotated out towards the balcony so he can start trying to get rid of Papayan inside the catwalk, as that is going to be Zephyr looking right at him. They know exactly where he is, and they're actually going to see Shin as well downstairs. A Spark gets the kill. Papayan on very low health, and that is going to be the kill going out for Zephyr with the Montagna. So 3 members left. Mariu, Waka, and JJ are going to be the only hope for Nora-Rengo to stop this round. Smoke grenades do get thrown in, so this is where Brett can go for the plant, the very typical plant spot. Mariu still holding on them stairs as JJ's going to impact nade, go for the jump in, sees one, and he actually going to get the double kill as Waka stole that from him. But he does get down in the process and killed. And Mariu actually clutches that round for Nora-Rengo as Brett did not get the plant in time. I believe that's probably about 1 second before that plant went down. What a clutch from Nora-Rengo.
Beautifully played from Vitality, but they just didn't have what it takes in the dying seconds of the round to get the defuse plant yet again. Nora has really found out the formula for beating Vitality, and it's just have enough people alive in the last 15 seconds and then go for a retake. It's really that simple, and it's worked out for them now twice. So, well, I guess the first time it was more just the roamers, but the retake was in a great position that round, and they did manage to have someone in a position to stop the defuse plant late. The big thing for me to take away from that round was actually the Thatcher attack strategy for Vitality. Interestingly, they weren't using their nades at all to try and deny the bandit. You can Thatcher bait and switch with a grenade, get the kill onto the bandit and the wall open, and that's usually what we'll see most teams do, but it just didn't happen. Either way, a nice attack strategy from Vitality. They just needed a little bit more teeth in the end there.
So we will be moving into the gym and the bedroom for Nora-Rengo. This is going to be their first attempt. And this is a bomb site where, yes, we have seen more play, I would say, than the bar and stockroom primarily. And especially with these new strategies where typically teams just like to castle off the entirety of B, and then they have the bandit going for the bandit trick on that double jacuzzi wall, but also we can see the impact trick as well, which teams have used a lot more commonly.
Yes, the bandit tricking will happen, or probably just an initial layer of batteries, and then he'll just go play somewhere else. The main thing is the impact. There's really, I mean, we've got a banned Habana. So, and there is no floor that's destructible on the jacuzzi balcony, so you can't do the floor thermite trick, which means that wall is essentially inaccessible to the attackers, as long as the impact grenades are not missed by Nora. And let's be honest, I don't think they're going to miss their impact grenades.
No, they've trained for this, or else they wouldn't try it.
Absolutely. So that means that Vitality is forced to clear from cache into construction into the actual master bedroom. And that's why master is considered one of the really good sites. You know, some teams even using it as their primary site. It's basically just cache defense, but extended. Now, in this case, interestingly, Nora's actually not going to be playing inside of cache, which is, in my opinion, a huge oversight. You know, this is what makes the site so good, is you can stall out. However, given Zephyr's efficiency on Montaigne throughout this match, I could see why Nora would make that decision. I can totally get in the boat. It's likely Zephyr would have cleared out the roamers regardless of how well they would have played. And this is actually, remember when they were trying to defend Kitchen on Coastline just prior? Nora was unable to deny the Ying from just clearing the roamers upstairs every single round. This, to me, seems like they're cutting that dead weight early, and they're just saying, hey, we know that they're going to clear out our roamers inside of cache. let's hold the site.
Yeah, they're certainly going for the 5-stack anchor there. Trying to put all of the utility that they can have at their disposal. But equally, we do see a lot of utility being used by Vitaliry. First of all, get rid of the castle barricades. Bibby's going to see that there's another one he has to deal with. But even if that castle barricade gets rid of as well, there's also going to be another layer of protection for Waka, as there's a deployable shield being located as well. So Zephyr, he's going to start calling out, being this human drone that we talk about that shield operators can play, whether you're a Blitz or a Montana. Montana a little bit more safer in that context, because you can you just can't die compared to the Blitz. And this is where Waka is going to go for the bandit trick, but he misses it as Bibu gets the angle.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a very, very hard shot to pull off from Bibby, but he makes it work. One of the best fraggers for Vitaliry, one of the best aimers in EU, and certainly he is showing it. But then Chin, one of the best fraggers in the APAC, is going to get killed, but Spark, he is going to get the refrag as he is going to be inside of that office area. Papillon playing very aggressive on the stairs. It's holding the angle. Raphael just runs in, gets the kill onto Mary. Papillon, you have to do something to help your teammates, but Spark does go for the peek, and JJ's going to be right beside Montana, and he misses it. But Raphael will clean things up, and Team Vitaliry square it off 2 rounds apiece.
Okay, so evidently Nora does not know how to defend Master. So the first oversight was the lack of defense inside of Cache. That's the big thing with Master. The reason it's a good site is you can extend yourself over to Cache. Sure, that you open yourself off to being cut off in the rotation, but it's essentially a double anchor. You don't necessarily, it's not the sort of roam strategy where, oh, you peel back, you peel back. You can if the enemy lets you, but usually you just want to hold on to Cache as long as you can. And yeah, there's a Fear playing really well on Montaigne. Maybe you need to play your Smoke over there. Maybe you need to play your Legion over there. Whatever the case, you need to play a roam on Cache to delay, if nothing else. Now, aside from that, the jacuzzi wall being opened up just should not happen. You have 2 sets of impact grenades. Are you unaware of the impact trick? I can't imagine that you are. The bandit tricking missed, unfortunately, because, like you said, the shot was hit, and the bandit was dispatched before he was able to get it down. So, but just so many layers of oops there from Nora. After the jacuzzi even, I mean, JJ sitting on the B-bomb, he was baiting for the Montaigne to come around, and he got the opportunity, he just didn't make it work.
Should have been a free kill for him in every context, but
Legion trap in the foot, and
he couldn't do anything. He was pulling it out whenever JJ stood up and started shooting him, and then Zephyr said, oh, hello, who are you? And then he just puts his shield up against them. But yeah, certainly Vitaliry, they had the strategy there. The fact that that bandit trick didn't work is probably the thing to take away from that round. That should never happen. You have castle barricade, deployable shield.
I mean, honestly, it shouldn't even be the bandit tricking. The bandits should go down as the initial layer of defense, but your impacts should be the primary form of denial.
They had a Legion with impacts.
Yeah, and they even had a castle likely still had an impact or 2.
He used one for a rotate, I believe.
Right. So maybe he had an impact left. Regardless, they had them. They could have used them there. I mean, no matter the case, it was a bit of an oversight. And you know, hey, and then also the Cache roams. Like, if you're gonna put your Legion inside a Cache, then have him use his impacts for the rotations, and then have Castle stay by the jacuzzi wall. I mean, no matter what, the jacuzzi wall should never be opened up.
No.
It's happened though, and again, as we talked about earlier, everyone makes mistakes. So hopefully, for Nora's sake, they won't make any more of those. Now, Waka, heavy roam inside of server, and he is going to be just looking to delay as long as he can. He did the same thing over by Strip. Last time there was a basement defense for Nora, and this seems to be their favorite site. Ooh, this could be a really big mistake here for Waka if he gets exposed. And, yep, Bibu, perfect positioning. So that was actually a spawn peek, I think, that was made by Waka earlier in the round to look towards construction, and now it's worked against him.
Yeah, Bibu used that to get his drone in towards that classroom area, so that was very smartly done by Bibu. We're seeing the Jackal being picked up for the first time inside this matchup, and especially whenever Vitaliry struggled with the roam game, this is definitely a good pickup for them. This gives them the adaptability to go for these roamers and hunt them. It just lets them see where they actually ran to, so you can see the direction of the footprints as well. And whenever you have a great gun like the C7E, you can't really go wrong with having a good fragger behind it, such as Spark, who who is performing well. Bibu, he's going to rotate himself in towards the blue stairs area along with Bredek, get rid of the ADSs that could potentially be there, but there's going to be none as Nora-Rengo did decide to not bring that. Instead, they went for the more trap heavy with the Elo mines and also the Legion goo traps as well. So a minute to go. This is Vitality still playing into their playstyle. They have plenty of time to go for the push. They just going to get everything in position. It could be another church wall push. They've sacrificed not having the Montani this time, but still they have the potential push with these smoke canisters as well. They have 2 on Dogaby and also 2 on the Jackal, and Rafael is going to go for it, but we're going to be seeing the impact trick. This time you did it. You didn't do it on the Jacuzzi, but you're going to do it here. Hello?
And it won't work. 2 impacts from JJ. He misses them both. Spark will get JJ as a result. 25 seconds left. Vitality have a 2-man advantage here on their church push, and Rafael will get Crazy Papillon from behind that bomb. And he's going to go for the defuse plant by Black Box, and the... Ooh, what a peek from Shin. He was supposed to lose that one, but he manages to make it work for him. Maryu also getting a frag before being dispatched, and it's all up to a 1 bullet's worth of HP Shin, who cannot win the fight against Brid. Vitality, a clean execution there in the last 30 seconds, and really not much being shown from Nora to stop it.
Excellently played from Vitality. They knew what they needed. The impact trick didn't work. That baffles me. You try it on the church, which didn't work, whenever you could have went for it for the upstairs. I don't understand this. So it is very, very intriguing, very interesting that they're not going to go for it. And we're actually going to have our tactical timeout for Nora-Rengo this time. So they're going to be thinking about what they're going to be working on.
Yeah, this is the right time to take a tactical pause. So the impact tricking, I think... Unfortunately, I think it's something that they haven't really practiced well enough. They don't have it down pat, and it's something, you know, it's one of those things it's kind of an emergent skill right now. It's not something that's standard within Pro League per se, but it's becoming so, and you really do need to figure it out before you play any more matches. Now, luckily, you know, that's something that Nora can look at, even if they do lose this match. So the big thing here is Vitality have won the first half, and they did it on attack with Hibana banned. So that is a really big deal for Vitality. When they go into defense, it's likely that they're going to have a complete lockout. And it was a number of those rounds were due to poor impact tricking. But that is something, again, that, you know, if Nora loses here, they're going to have a second chance, so they can practice impact tricking in the interim and come back with that knowledge moving forward.
They don't even have to go clubhouse against their opponents. Who knows? They may not even have to do that. But yes,
any map really.
Certainly, they just they need to work on these. Like, they're tiny mistakes. They're not huge mistakes that rookies make. You know, these guys are pro players.
Yeah, but we're looking at Vitality right now, and every tiny mistake you make, Vitality is going to capitalize. They are going to find that opportunity that you're giving them, and they're going to seize it and wrestle it to the ground. And that's what they've been doing so far. I have to say, if Nora weren't making some of these really small mistakes, it would probably be a 5-0 right now.
Yeah, this could be a completely different game for all we knew. Coastline could have been a whole lot different as well.
Same thing. Yeah, it was the same thing on Coastline, honestly. I mean, both, but I mean, again, it's all hindsight. You know, this is the thing. We have the top-down perspective. We can see through the walls. You know, we have all this information at our fingertips, and we can see what the mistakes that are being made is. Nora, you know, adapting in the middle of a match, it's a tricky thing to pull off. So they have managed to get all those 2 rounds. No, this is where it gets really difficult, though, because a banned Hibana clubhouse means that this is a defensive favored map. So Vitality starting the second half, going into defense already with the round advantage, they're going to be in a really good spot.
So we're going to be seeing the Alibi being picked up for the first time inside of the matchup. So Clubhouse is a map where we have seen quite a bit of Alibi play. It just throws off your opponents. Classroom's a good place in my eyes, especially round towards them cabinets areas. It just makes the attackers think twice before they're shooting. You know, you always have to be cautious of that. But certainly everybody at this stage kind of knows what you're looking for as an Alibi. You know what the figure's like, because typically no one just stands still in the middle of a room for the most part. But certainly we're going to be seeing the Blitz being brought into play. So this is going to be more of an aggressive lineup for Nora-Rengo, especially whenever they have the Buck as well. So this tells us that they want to use this this heavy destruction as well. So a lot of good lineup for Nora-Rengo, a lot of operators that work well together. You have the hard breachers, well, the one hard breacher, and also the soft destruction. There's 3 forms of soft destruction there in that team, which just helps out Waka in most cases. Mary is going to start things off, as that will be Rafael falling, so a big kill already. Jaeger off the board.
Yeah, one of the roamers already gone, but there are so many for Vitality. They are heavily invested in this top floor, middle floor roam. You can see Nora is starting to drone out and get that information. They've established that Gym is clear and Master is clear, and that means that the entire top floor has been cleared up, which now they can shift their focuses downstairs. But Bibu roaming over by the strip hallway. Spark will fall back all the way. The C4 prepped above the door, and the Blitz is just not going to move through until, oh, he gets an opportunity, flashes Bibu, and losing some HP, but able to get the actual kill, which is the most important thing. Valkyrie dispatched, as you would expect a roamer to be dealt with on Clubhouse. This is a very, very well done roam clear from Nora. I have to give him massive props for this. Waka has taken some HP off, but he's going to be able to probably dictate one more engagement as a Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz has been very detrimental, especially clearing out the roam game. Shen is going to get himself a kill onto Zephyr, so a 5 versus 2. Everything that Nora-Rengo needed to go well has went well, as Spark and Bread will be the only 2 members left alive for Vitality. Smoke canister does get put out, and Waka managed to survive that smoke canister. And he also is going to force Bread in towards that construction tunnel, the last place he wants to be as well, as Bread will actually get the kill onto Waka, as he kind of went in and went out again for the aggressive play, as he knew he needed to go for that, as Spark is going to be still inside off the blue, as JJ will get the kill onto Bread as he pushes in towards the corridor area. Spark left in a 1 versus 4, down to below 25 HP. Sees Shin, but does not manage to land the shots, but Shin will, and Nora-Rengo gets round number 6 on the board.
So, first round of the second half there for Nora, and a perfect execution. Really, absolutely stellar. On the other hand, Vitality struggling with their roamers. Bad positioning. Bibu playing in the strip hallway rather than committed strip. It just seemed like he wasn't sure what he wanted to do there. And the same thing was happening with the other roamers as well. We saw those roamers, for example, inside of office, fall off when potentially they could have wasted some more time. Just all around the board, some mistakes made from Vitality, and Nora now conversely able to capitalize on those mistakes. So it's you switch sides and you switch roles, apparently.
Yeah, certainly with that Bibu room, we seen how Waka played that strip club. Yeah, Waka committed to that hold where he was essentially trapped. Bibu, I believe, he thought of the idea, if I go on the strip, I'm going to die because I'm going to be trapped. You're going to die anyway, so why not just take that extra 15 seconds away from Nora-Rengo, which could have helped your teammates in the long run, could have even helped somebody go for another late rotate as well, could have given them that 15 seconds to know, yeah, all of them are going to try and kill me, so that leaves the flanks open and clear. And the way that Nora-Rengo haven't been holding their flanks, that should be where Vitality has that little light bulb in their head going, yeah, we can actually just do that and take advantage of that.
Yeah, potentially the late roam could have been really detrimental. I mean, if you look over, especially at Garage and the blue staircase into storage, there were not players from Nora holding those flanks. Either of these could have been used from Vitality if their deep roamers had instead been in sight, ready to late flank, instead of roaming and getting themselves, unfortunately, for Vitality, killed. However, again, hindsight. So, next round, we now have Nora going into an attack of Master. So Vitality's site selection is much more in line, I think, with the North American European meta. Nora seemed to lean heavily on the basement. Even after losing the basement, they went back down to basement again. They managed to make it work their second time, but Vitality, after losing the basement, is going to just shift. They're going to say, oh, we'll go Master instead. So that could be the experience shining through for Vitality, but it might not be enough to get them the round win. Looks like Nora does have all the tools they're going to need in order to attack this site. Now, the big thing is that Jacuzzi wall. I cannot see Vitality letting that get opened up. And if it's not opened up, the only other way to really attack this site is to come from Cash Room. You can see Vitality are choosing to forego the roam in Cash Room as well. So similar strategies being played from both teams. You know, it's kind of weird. It's like the Obey-Nora match we saw yesterday. Nora and Obey played so much like each other, And now it's Nora and Vitality playing so much like each other, but these are two very different play styles.
Extremely different. It's probably the two teams that, you know, look at Nora-Rengo. They're very aggressive. Just look at the way they're playing these attacks with players like Shin and Waka. And then Vitality, who are the slowest team inside of the competitive scene at this stage. So there is a lot of things that both these teams have in favor of one another, but certainly, like you said, they are playing the exact same way, but possibly that's because it fits into the play style that Clubhouse does fall under, where you have to play very strategically, you have to follow these rules, these step-by-steps, because there's not a lot of deviation really that teams can go for.
This round is really interesting so far. So they're dedicated bandit tricking the Jacuzzi wall, and instead of using their impacts there, they're using their impacts over in Office. You see they've pre-opened the holes to try and deny the Office wall. So they're spreading themselves a little bit thin here, Vitality, but they are getting everything, you know, cinched up, and Nora doesn't seem to have any tools at their disposal to deal with this. Here comes the final push, though. Or no, it's going to be stopped from gas canisters, and Vitality will get 2 kills on a JJ and Shin, thanks to a poorly timed push. Only 30 seconds left, and now a 2-man disadvantage for Nora.
So it is going to be Seth Fear. He was inside of the A-bomb, does get shut down by Mariu, as he got a double kill for himself, as Rafael will also fall. So Bread Baby and Spark, the last man up for Vitality. Mariu gets a free K for himself. Spark has had to rotate his way in towards the corridor to take up that fallen position where Kapatow was, as Baby does get down. Mariu, he wants his 4K, and as it is going to be Blitz gets the kill. Waka is also going to go for another one, but Spark actually shoots him whenever he was flashed as well, so the Fuser did get planted by Papayan. Mariu and Papayan are going to be the last 2 members up for Nora-Rengo, as Spark will rotate and he does get spotted out. The constant tags as well from those Maestro cameras, and that will be Mariu getting himself a 4K. What a round from that Ash player.
That is the definition of winning on skill. There was no strategy really being employed there from Nora. Everything went wrong for them, and then suddenly an Ash runs into sight and gets a 4K. And that's it. That is the end of the round. Vitality played it well. They denied the entry into the Office wall. They denied the Jacuzzi wall. They denied all of the lanes, but then as soon as they start getting into their fights, they can't win anything.
So, also on the other stream, Rainbow Six Bravo. The biggest upset we could have ever expected inside of the Paris Major. Obey Alliance knocks out Team Liquid 6 rounds to 4. What a match that must have been. Obey Alliance, one of the weaker sides that we expected going in, knocks out the world champions Team Liquid.
That's pretty insane, yeah. Team Liquid coming off of a season win. And then Obey, one of the, as you said, one of the lowest ranked teams in all of North America right now, and Team Liquid just won't be playing at this tournament anymore, I suppose. That is very odd. Are you sure it was a 2-0?
This seems to be a 2-0 unless
that's so
production's
weird.
wrong, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, 2-0 confirmed. That's just not supposed to happen. This has been a weird tournament so far, wouldn't you say, Harry?
Yeah, big upset. That was the one which we were expecting. Liquid looking at their group, it's like, yeah, easy Liquid. But no, they get beat by Vitality, and then they get beat by Obey. Vitality is struggling against Nora-Rengo. Possibly it's just because Team Liquid, maybe they're just weak.
I'm not sure. Maybe this event has had them in, you know, a little bit of an odd position. I mean, I know that, for example, Nesk just did have a kid, so you know, maybe something's on his mind. He's a little bit distracted. It's possible, which would be understandable.
Yeah, certainly Nesk has always been the biggest player for that team. He is the top fragger in Latin America for a reason. He's top fragger, I believe, in all of Europe as well for a reason, because he's that good. But like you said, he's just recently started his own family as well, so that may be another thing that he does have on his mind. But nonetheless, congrats to Obey Alliance, who will be moving on to play the loser of this game between Team Vitality and Nora-Rengo. If Nora-Rengo does lose this map, then they will be be having a rematch. Obey Alliance and Nora-Rengo will face off against each other once again like they did just yesterday, but will we see a new matchup if Nora-Rengo do manage to pull these next two maps out of the bag and send Vitality down to the loser bracket, the home favourite inside of this competition?
Well, Nora are close to match point, just a round away. And they're attacking onto a very different bomb site here, as you can see. It's going to be the cash room. So Vitality have brought us to 3 different bomb sites in 3 different rounds. And they have not been able to make any of them work for them. They've been really struggling on the defense, whereas Nora is really coming into their own on attack. Just about the opposite of what you would expect given the map and the operator bans, but it's what's happening, and it is interesting to see. Last round, Vitality really should have won, but Mary was just really feeling it in the round, and he was able to get a 4K waltzing into sight. I doubt that will happen a second time, but still, Vitality are playing this very well so far, at least strategically. They've managed to lock out the Nora attack and force them on a stall, and they have still control over the garage, which is very important. It means there's potential for a late retake. It also means that Vitality doesn't have to deal with much of a crossfire. It's a construction take through and through here from Nora. This is a lot different than what you usually see on this site, and Spark's gonna get the first kill onto JJ.
So that will be Spark, who was inside of the garage, gets himself a kill, but then Shin will get the refrag, performing very well on that Sophia currently. Rafael also going to be downstairs. This is where Waka's going to go for the blitz push, as Bibi's going to try and fight at the window. Very risky peak to go for, especially against Shin. And this is where the plant's actually going to be going down for Nora-Rengo, as Papayo's managed to get himself inside of the A-bomb. That is going to be Spark overshooting that C4. Doesn't land anything. Rafael on that flank does get a kill, as Spark then also gets a kill on the Shin, just misses the Claymore, and that will be the kill from that Claymore. We're also going to be seeing the down from Waka, so a 1 versus 3 Meryu. Can he perform what he did do last time? He gets the 1, and he gets the triple kill. Meryu clutches that round, and it sends Nora-Rengo into, it's going to be match point for them in Clubhouse.
What was that? 2 rounds in a row for Meryu to cinch it out for his team. He had the down on the flanking player, and then he was able to get the final 2 attackers who were pressuring the defuse plant. And we will see, I believe, a tactical pause following that clutch from Meryu's Ash.
That's going to be Team Vitality's tactical pause. Certainly what they need to do at that stage. Unexpected. I thought that was going to be just an easy retake for Vitality, like they're used to doing these strong retakes, but no. Meryu performing big for his team.
There were a couple mistakes made there from Vitality, but ultimately it does come down to good teamwork from Nora. They're putting a lot of the fragging power, or a lot of the fragging pressure, rather, onto Meryu specifically, which is the standby role of an Ashe. That is what the Ashe is there to do. But Meryu is really filling that role perfectly, and you don't often see that. The ability to take all of the frag potential and, you know, actually make it work for you. And especially in that position, what he just pulled off, he was the flank hold in that round. He was not the primary entry frag. He was flank hold, post plant designation, and he made it work. He did both of those roles perfectly.
Yeah, we've seen that Rafael did go for that flank. I'd imagine that's probably where the third kill came from, as he did manage to get that down. Meryu, and then he just had to quickly get that kill and then flick right onto the other 2 members of Vitality. So what a clutch. Still 1 round away. It's easily doable for Vitality if that tactical timeout has helped them. They've got their heads in, they've cleared their heads, they know what they need to do. It certainly can help them in most cases, but looking at the way that Meryu's playing, who is hard carrying his team at the moment, this certainly is looking like a Nora-Rengo victory, and we will be headed into Consulate if it goes that way.
And we'll find out. Nora seem like they have what it takes to get us to that 3rd map. Vitality going to be going to Master. So, quick reminder, Vitality has yet to win a single defensive round. They had 3 attack victories, but now that they've shifted to the other side, they really have been, well, struggling to get anything done. And partially that's Vitality making some minor mistakes like missed C4s, for example. But I think overall it's just stellar play from Nora as a whole, and Maryu getting a lot of frags for his team over the last 2 rounds.
The gun skill is certainly showing where Nora-Rengo does have their strengths. That's one thing that we've always said about this team, is that the potential fragging power that they have on their side is just too much for most teams. And certainly Vitality, who, where, yeah, they have great shots such as Bibu, but whenever you have essentially 3 players, Waka, Maryu, and Shin, all with incredible gun skill, that just makes it a lot tougher for Bibu to try and fight all of them. And whenever you have Waka running about on the blitz, it just makes it a whole lot harder as well. And like you said about where Vitality, they didn't really hold the cash, this is where they're going to try and put a little bit more influence.
Yep, and Nora do have the, ooh, no, well, almost potential damage, but just hitting the shield, it seems. Still, Nora has the tools that they need in order to take cash room right now. They have the blitz in hand. They're going to be going for that push in through the door. Now, the problem is you're opening yourself up to a crossfire, and that's the crossfire that I'm talking about. Brid from the doorway in construction will shut down Waka on his push, and Vitality establish a very significant lead now. They've dealt with all of the potential pressure from the shield, and it's going to be a lot easier for them to start winning these engagements. Maryu, though, still the main fragger for Nora, and he is in a position to potentially get some of those frags, but he's got to get proper information from his team before he makes this push, otherwise it will be in vain. Oh, he's joining himself in.
Look where Bibu is as well, and I don't believe there's going to be anybody there to actually help Maryu if Bibu does decide to go for this flank. So this could be detrimental for Maryu if he doesn't have a bit of a backup here coming to him, as the rest of his team is trying to work on that jacuzzi area, and Spark will win that gunfight against Maryu, going for that slow peek, which did not work out for him, as JJ and Papayan are going to be nowhere near to get that refrag, as Shin is going to be on extremely low health trying to fight this Spark, or not Spark, it's going to be Zephyr on the smoke. And yeah, not looking too good for Nora-Rengo. Still 30 seconds on the clock. They've lost 2 of their main fraggers, Shin on extremely low health. So it does really rely on the 2 support players, which is going to be JJ and Papayan, as Zephyr's already going to start to smoke himself and the window out. And he's playing right underneath the window, which, look where 2 of the Nora-Rengo players are, is going to be holding the exact same angle with the claymores as well, and he's going to start tagged up from the room. We're still over in towards Cassius. JJ on extremely low health, 1 HP. As Brid does get the kill onto Shin, and Spark will clean up things onto JJ. Last minute will be Papayan, who is going to be down in towards that bar. Rotates up towards the stairs, should be her door. A Gooman will go off, and he will get killed by Raphael, and Vitality do bring themselves back into this matchup, where they are only 1 round to bringing it to overtime.
Their very first defensive win comes on the master site, and it is thanks to their extension into cash room. There was not, it doesn't look like Nora was ready for that, to be honest with you. I don't think they're used to seeing the roamers inside of cash, and once the blitz started for that push, the crossfire was still established from construction. That's a pretty standard crossfire to help your teammates. And Nora didn't drone that out first. They didn't check for it. They didn't account for it. And because of that, they got stalled hard. And then once they shifted their way over to the windows, they'd already lost 2 players. They didn't really have any pushing power there. Plus, the flank was now open because you don't have anyone playing inside of server. Server window is going to be peaked. And then peaked it was. Vitality managed to get it on pure fragging power after that. Nora could not recover.
Seems to be that Nora-Rengo, whenever they have their push in mind and it doesn't go to plan, they do start to fluster. They start to they don't know where they want to go next. There's probably no real call out what they want to do. All they were doing was holding angles essentially that whole game, and they just fell one by one by one. It was almost a flawless round for Vitality. I believe a Claymore actually did manage to kill Raphael, but other than that, it was more or less a very easy round for Vitality. There was no real struggle for them in their hold, but like you said, that great cash room defense hold from Spark played it extremely well, and then Bibu, even on the backstairs, he didn't put that much of an impact in, but certainly he could have if he was called upon to do so. So we will be headed back downstairs to the Church and Arsenal room, where it will be Vitality going for a different strategy than what we've seen before. We're seeing the Maestro being brought out by them for the first time. And also Spark is going to be on that Ela once again, which he was on the last time for this defense. So a bit more of an aggressive roam game possibly from Spark, but also a wee bit more control and more intel gathering from the Maestro cameras also.
Yeah, very important role to have, and that's why, of course, you know, Vitality, they very commonly ban Echo, and they have banned Echo here, is they don't like the indirect, you know, defense potential, but Vitality themselves are going to be able to use it here in this round. Now, interesting change from Nora. They've brought the Montaigne instead of the Blitz, and I have to say I agree with this, because the only time Blitz actually worked for Nora was when they were attacking the basement, and they were clearing out the roamers. Now, having those little extensions on the side of the head there could have helped out Nora in the last round. So now that Waka does have that, and he's got someone droning for him this time, it's probably going to see much more success. It's a basement defense yet again, and we've only seen this once before from Vitality. It was on the very first round. They could not make it work for themselves, and it was because they roamed too heavily. They had people up by the strip hallway, all, you know, up in master area. You know, there were too many roamers. 2 of them got pinched and finished off, and that put them in a very large hole when the actual execution came.
There's one big operator which I'm quite surprised that Rengo isn't picking up, and that's going to be Dokkaebi, an operator that is very useful on this particular bomb site where you do have a lot of anchors, especially. So knowing where they are, that could help Nora-Rengo as well. And whenever they have players like Shin who can play that well, like we've seen him play on Coastline, that could also be another factor which could give Nora-Rengo the edge potentially as well. So that's always another option that Nora-Rengo could look into if they do lose this round, is changing up an operator. And especially a very good operator at that, as Dokkaebi is very strong currently in the meta. But Nora-Rengo are going to start opening up the church wall, going for this push, almost the same way that Vitality did earlier on inside of this matchup, where they have the Montaigne going in, gains all of the intel, as Shin is going to be working towards them backstairs as Papillon, he's looking to go for it. They're not entirely sure at the moment. They do have Mario in a very strong position here, holds down these rotations in towards the blue. And then Papillon is going to go ahead and open up the church wall, gets themselves into the staging ground for the beachhead. Again, you only need just a couple of seconds typically for Clubhouse to go for the plant. It's not a big hurry, but it will be Waka getting the first kill onto Zephyr. With that pistol from the Montaigne, he gets a Waka double kill Montaigne. Spark will get the refrag onto Shin. Smoke canisters do go out as Papillon will go for the plant. Raphael's going to be stuck right in the back beside them boxes. Diffuser does get planted. Bread gets the kill onto JJ. This is going to have to be a miraculous retake from Vitality, and it's starting to look that way. Raphael gets the kill and Bread gets the kill onto Papillon. Last but it will be the Montaigne. It's shut down by Raphael, and Bread is going to be able to get the defuse, and Vitality claw this back, and we're headed into overtime.
That is the definition of a round you should not lose. Post-plant scenario, you've got enough manpower live, I believe 4 people at that point, and sure, you lost your push into blue, but what is happening on the front by church? Who is holding these angles? What's going on? Vitality just walks in and gets kill after kill after kill with no repercussion from Nora. A huge mistake there. Well, just one glaring mistake, unable to win their fights. Now, that was the second successful defense win for Vitality. 2 in a row. You know, say what you will about Vitality, but they really win the defensive rounds when it matters the most. And they will push it to overtime. And unfortunately for Vitality, they did get defense first. They clearly favor the attacking side. However, Nora, following those failures that they just had, might be really demoralized at this point and maybe don't have a lot of faith in their attacks, and this could hurt them. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, this is where it sets into the mind games of Rainbow Six Siege. It does happen. Looking at the scores and the doors, Spark leading things with 14 kills, 11 assists for Bebu. Wow, that is pretty strong as well. And look, Mario hasn't gotten a kill since his clutch.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing as well.
So, We're seeing a very interesting match. Same thing with the first map, actually. It was also very weird. Now going on to Clubhouse, that weirdness has not left the premises. We still have it here. But 5-5, this is very much anyone's round, anyone's match. Basement hold for Vitality. It's kind of interesting to me that Vitality has chosen to go down to the basement as their first site. I mean, if you look at the first time they held basement, they just absolutely got shredded. The second time that Vitality held basement, they also got shredded, but then suddenly a retake out of nowhere, and one that really should not happen given the nature of that post-plant scenario. I mean, you're dealing with one lane that they're going to be pushing through, really, or I guess two if you want to split it up. But honestly, it's an easy hold, and it just couldn't happen for Nora. The point being here, though, is that Vitality is taking a pretty big risk with this basement hold. Even after following that last success, that was kind of a close success. It was scraping the wire.
I would say this round comes down to not how Vitality want to change up their defense, it's more how Nora-Rengo want to secure their hold. We talked about how their flanks just are non-existent. They cannot, once the bomb gets planted, they just lose it, and especially against a team like Vitality who will punish you. If they see an opening, they're going to take it like they just did. Brid just walked down the main corridor. That should never happen like we discussed, but certainly it has to be Nora-Rengo who step up here. Vitality are ready to punish them. We know that Vitality are the stronger side in this matchup. Strategically wise, maybe not so much the gun skill that has been shown by Nora-Rengo, but certainly Vitality do have the edge.
So, as the slow push comes out from Nora, you can see they're focusing primarily on clearing the roamers. Once they've cleared those roamers, then they'll start their push in, very likely yet again onto the church wall. Now, it looks like Vitality are setting themselves up for impact strategy here. And the Moto drop-down has just been opened up. Bibu waiting for his opportunity to shine. Now, this could be the make-or-break moment. If Bibu's able to hit the impacts proper, then Vitality's church wall will stay intact. However, if he misses, then Nora will have yet another chance at this round. Though, again, if the wall stays intact, then Nora's going to struggle when they go for their actual site push. Even though they have that Montaigne, it's still very tight to make the push without an open church wall. So Bibu setting up for the middle panel. We'll see if the impact has enough radius. He sees the explosion, and it's just a miss yet again from Bibu. It's not an easy impact to hit, that's for sure. Brid will get the first kill of the round. Deceptively, 40 seconds left in the round. Bibu gets the second. Mario, though, responds in kind, and JJ able to get Bibu to shut him down. A 3-on-3 with only 30 seconds to go. Rafael using his ACOG deep inside of Arsenal, and he's going to lay down some fire onto the main stairs. A great position here for Brid. He could potentially get some very free kills, especially given the information he has. You can tell from those marks, he knows there's someone inside of Moto, and he forces out Moto control. He'll get Mario. Perfect timing here from the smoke of Brid, and he gets a double kill. JJ shuts him down, but Rafael is able to get the final kill, and Vitality will take the first round of overtime.
So Vitality do win once again on the exact same bomb site that they did last time. Brid with that smoke, with that shotgun, quick double pump, and that does shut down Nora-Rengo for their final, or not final, their potentially final attack there that they had the chance to. And knowing Vitality, they are 100% going to punish Nora-Rengo for giving them the attack.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Vitality now shifting back onto attack. It's been a while since they've been on attack, of course. It's been about 6-7 rounds. Well, yeah, 6 rounds. Yeah. So this could be a completely different Vitality from what we've been seeing over the last half and the start of overtime. And it's possible that they'll still have that lethality that we saw in the first half, but it's also possible that Nora has adapted to this point. I like that I'm seeing the Jackal yet again from Vitality. Remember how much of a problem the Nora roamers were for Vitality's attack. So they're already taking into account the potential issues that could arise here. And we're going downstairs to the basement for Nora. And they went to basement 3 times, but they only won it once. So this is we're talking about risks. This is one of them. Nora could lose it all right here. It is match point, series point for Vitality right now.
And especially whenever you're going up then against Obey, which is probably who you don't want to play just after their form-beaten Liquid. So certainly Nora-Rengo, they need this. They need to get this in. They need to get this map. And then, like you said, Consulate, I would say, would go up in the air for both these teams.
Yeah, Consulate. Consulate could go either way. I mean, it's the same thing as it's not the same thing strategically as Clubhouse, but I'd say like if I'm going to gauge the maps between the two teams, I would say yeah, they're pretty much you're going to be equal on Consulate. Although I want to give slight edge to Vitality, and I think Vitality honestly has a slight edge throughout the entire matchup, no matter what map you're going. Yeah, no matter what map you're going to. But can they really make that work for them here in potentially the final round? Is the question. Their first goal right now, clearing out those roamers. And once they've cleared out the roamers, they'll isolate the site, and they'll start their execution likely, yet again, onto the church wall. It's just so weird to see that church wall coming back into play, all off of a Hibana ban.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you're missing the main operator that really changed that push and just kind of shoved it into the back of the strategies, then yeah, certainly you have to go for the strats that were viable without the Hibana, which is definitely what Vitality have played into. They don't have a glass. I would feel this would be a completely different game if Vitality had the glass as well. So
it's also the Mira ban too.
Yeah, so many bans that really affected this.
And that was what Nora, I think, were really relying on, but it hasn't been working out great for them so far. You know, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of weird because it required teamwork between the teams to actually make that happen. Because Vitality were the ones to ban the Hibana, and Nora were the ones to ban the Mira. So a bit of an odd match, I guess, to give us the formula we have right now.
Odd match. That's it. That's all we will ever remember.
It's still, yeah.
Is Vitality Nora-Rengo. Oh yeah, the odd match. That's what it's going to be known as and archived in.
So, also, a very nice setup here from Vitality. They have control over the top 2 floors, and they're going to start their push onto the church wall. Bandit tricking is happening here, and you can see that's Mariu going for it. This is a hard wall to trick, that's for sure. You've got 3 panels, and you're going up against a Thatcher right now. The flank from Waka will see no success. Rafael with a flick. That was supposed to be a kill for the Valkyrie, but it did not happen. Good calls from Vitality to sure that up.
Looking at where Vitality are, they cannot get in. There's no Thatcher. Thatcher cannot get these EMPs as he used all of them. He must have used all of them or else it would have been open at this stage. Bibu's going to try and put some pressure on the blue, and he's trying to look for the head off the bandit as Bread does drop. Yeah, definitely no EMP charges, so this is going to be extremely difficult for Vitality as Rafael did get down. He possibly inhaled a couple of toxic fumes there, but it will be the trade as Shen and Bibu will both trade. Papayan gets the kill on to Bread as Rafael will push in and gets shot down by Mariu. Spark gets the kill on Papayan. JJ does get the kill on Spark and Zafir, and that is going to be no time for Team Vitality, and Nora-Rengo are going to essentially just steal that round from Vitality.
Push all the way to the very last round of this map. 6-6 is the round count, and what a round there for Nora specifically, delaying Vitality as long as they possibly could, and Mariu as an individual able to bandit trick the church wall. That is not an easy wall to trick, and both teams have been struggling with their impacting, so it's nice that he went back to what works, just playing a bandit and battery tricking the wall from the get-go. So well done to Nora there, forcing Vitality to use other attack methods than opening up church wall. If Vitality had been able to get that wall open, I am all but certain it would have been their round.
Yeah, certainly not having that EMP grenade. Bread must have used at least 2 of them, just getting rid of ADSs, and maybe 1 for the initial bandit batteries, but we did see that there was, I think he only beat it the 1 bandit charge first of all, and then the EMP went down, but he still had all 3 of them. So it was a big misplay from Vitality not keeping 1 of them EMP grenades to get rid of the final bandit battery. So look how tight all of these kills are. 15 kills in the way of Spark, so he is performing excellent during this game. But yeah, certainly Vitality are going to be on the defense. They have then this Bedroom and Gym, which they performed so well against Nora-Rengo. Whenever we seen the hold inside of the cash room, that really crippled the Nora-Rengo attack. They just didn't know what they wanted to do at that stage. And then we had seen the quick rotates, the quick flanks, and it really did just completely crumble Nora-Rengo at that stage.
So yeah, the last time we went to Master, it was, like you said, it was Vitality, extension into Cash Room. And that was the first time we saw an extension in the Cash Room, because Vitality had gone here before, but they played safe in the site. Now, when Vitality the previous time played super safe in the site, they lost that round, because they allowed Nora to set up and execute proper. Then, once they extended into Cash Room, the Blitz, the biggest thing is the Blitz was dispatched by a crossfire from construction. And because the Blitz was taken out for Nora, they didn't have any pushing power when it came to the actual site. Now, Nora's made the transition from Blitz to Montaigne. They did that a little bit earlier, but I don't know if that's going to change things, because it did really look like Nora were not really in the right zone to clear Cash Room. I don't think they had the tools, at least to the previous attempt. This time there's an unreinforced wall, and they do have an Ashe and a Montaigne, so this is probably going to be a better round for them.
Yeah, Nora-Rengo, they have the more adaptability with all of this soft destruction. Montaigne's going to push in, but the crossfire, like you talked about, Raphael does get that kill onto Waka. He was a blitz last time, which is a lot more aggressive. Montaigne is so much more safer in the C4 from below, from the pulse. That was a pick we did not see last time, but then Papillon will get the refrag onto Zephyr, as that is going to be JJ looking for a kill onto Spark, who's on extremely low health.
Half of the round yet to go, and Crazy Papillon will get sparked. JJ also gets Raphael, and Papillon a second one onto Bibu. Brid is the final defender for Vitality. We're shaping up for map number 3, unless Brid can clutch it out. But he's going to have to wait for so long. An efficient take so far from Nora. It looked like they had all lost it when the Montaigne was eliminated, but they've managed to recover against all odds. Brid now waiting in the hallway. He's going to have to bide his time. He's got a whole minute to work with here. Nora, on the other hand, are going to have to start droning out and looking for their opponents. They don't want to jump the gun. They don't want to lose because they stack up and get caught in the same spray or anything silly like that. So they're going to calculate this move and push in likely all together. EMP is coming out to clear any potential traps. A nice angle being played from Brid. He's going to miss the shots, though. Goes for another one onto the windows for Balcony. Gets the second follow-up shot onto JJ, getting the Thatcher, but the diffuser's being planted right now near Island. And the Brid! What is happening? Brid! The 3K from Brid! Vitality take it! 7-6 and a 2-0 in the series!
Are you kidding me? What have we just witnessed? We've seen Vitality take the early lead, and then the quick 4K coming out from Nora-Rengo. Puts into a 1v3, and Brid, who has been known to clutch up so much for Vitality, takes it, and that is gonna be Team Vitality moving into the live stage in front of all you guys here at Paris, happening on Friday. So what a game from Team Vitality. Oh, what, my head.
That what an odd match.
Yeah, an odd match. That is the bookmark.